Hey guys, I wanted to come on live this evening because we're doing I'm doing my first live weekly show episode tomorrow. And if you haven't seen it yet, there's a post on the page where you can set a reminder for the show, for the episode, so that you don't miss it. It's going to be at 12:50 p.m. in I got to stop saying right. It's going to be at 12:50. Start at 12:50 tomorrow Eastern time. So let me okay. Um, so tomorrow's the first episode, and when we do the first episode tomorrow, it's going to be episode 0, because I want to go over some things about the show format and the survey results for those of you that responded to my survey about topics for my new show, and also just sort of go through how we can interact in a live Facebook video. Okay, so. But before tomorrow, I wanted to talk to you about webinars in our industry. Actually, probably webinars in general, but webinars specifically in our industry. In fact, I just watched or started watching a replay of one today, this afternoon, that happened yesterday, I think. And I sighed because I was like, ugh, do they all have to do it the same way? So in this example, they, well, in a lot of examples in our industry, the the first person comes on, and literally the title of the webinar is on the first slide, and they read the title back to us. And then the next thing is they start talking about the speakers and they start reading the bios, which actually we do at conferences too. But so my mantra is that Legal Tech Mastery, the show, will not be boring. Webinars in our industry, in legal industry, typically do not show webcams, so you can't see the speaker. They're talking from behind a PowerPoint slide. I'm almost anti-PowerPoint at this point, but sometimes you can't get away. You have to have some sort of visual, to show somebody. So I'm going to have slides-ish for the show. But I don't want to hide behind a slide. So I'm going to try to keep webcams on as much as possible. And then even if I have speakers, they're going to be on webcams too, so that you can see anyone who's speaking. So also a lot of webinars in our industry may have Q&A, but they typically make it so it's at the end so that the speakers can finish what they're talking about. And then Q&A is rushed at the end. So I don't want to do that either. I want to figure out a way to have questions either at certain segments in the show or during the show. Whatever makes sense for the particular topic that day. And whether it's just me or whether I have a guest. So speakers will be on camera. Q&A definitely going to happen. And also, typically in our industry, the chat is, the commenting or whatever, the Q&A, whatever it is in the particular software product, is hidden. So, and they also hide who's attending. So, you know how it is. Like, you don't know who's on the line with you. You don't know, you can't see anyone's Q&A. And the host is in total control. And I know why people do it. Totally understand. But I don't want that for this show. So the commenting, chat, whatever system I end up using over time that allows the you guys who are attending, viewers participating, I want you to be able to see each other and interact with each other. There's so much side conversation that can happen when you have a live video show like this. Okay, so that's the other thing that typically doesn't happen in our industry. The other thing that happens, or doesn't happen, whichever way you want to look at it, is that there's no laughter. Occasionally, if you have somebody who's dynamic and intentionally tries to be funny and is funny, that's helpful. But basically, it's very formal. The webinars in our industry are very formal. No laughter. Slides. Get through the material. Blah, blah, blah. So I just want to let you know that that is not my intention for this show. I want to, in fact, if I ever read the title of the show back to you, I'm going to tell you that, I'm going to confirm what we're talking about. But if I ever read the title verbatim back to you of my show or the particular episode, feel free to call me out on that. I am not going to read bios of speakers. If you want to find out about them, I'll give you a link and you can go read it yourself. And all the speakers that are on my show, if I have one or more guests, they will all be on webcam. Now I'm not on a webcam. I'm actually on a camera, but most of the speakers who I bring into the show will be on webcam, which is fine. Works perfectly well. The chat, the commenting will always be visible, so that you guys can see each other. You guys can interact. You know who's here. You can meet new people. You can have side conversations, in front of everybody, of course. But chat will always be visible, and there will always be Q&A. Whether it's designed that way because I'm teaching something and I want to know if you have any questions, or if you just want to ask questions in the middle of what I'm talking about, or especially if I have a guest and we're, doing something educational, definitely there will be questions. You can ask your questions and we can answer it for you. And then also, because the chat is visible, as I keep saying, which is part of the community, that's the whole purpose for this for me, is to give you a place to be able to meet new people. So the next thing that there will definitely be, and I have to raise my voice, I guess, is laughter, because I love laughter. I think that our industry can be very stressful, especially if you work in litigation. Actually, it can be stressful if you work in real estate. If you have deadlines, working with lawyers can be stressful. So I think that there should always be a time for laughter. So we're going to be laughing at all kinds of things. And I encourage you to encourage laughter and be funny in the comments. The other thing is, I want it to be not formal at all. I am intentionally not doing formal. Hi, Linda. I'm glad you like to laugh. I know you like to laugh. I enjoyed hanging out with you in Florida laughing. Okay, so I want it to be casual. I'm not going to get dressed up every time. I may not even put makeup on every time. Can you hear that, ladies? My good friends know that I'm not a girly girl, so I'm going to do an job of, getting ready and getting primped or whatever. I'm not going to do it because I just want to be casual. And I'm also not going to dress formal. I'm gonna, like right now, I'm not doing an episode of the show, but I'm wearing what I wore today. When I saw my friend Lana, Lana met me for lunch today. If you don't know Lana Shell, if you do know Lana Shell, let me know in the comments. But I had some time with her today, which is really awesome. And then we're going to have what's called a pre-show at the beginning of every episode. And the pre-show is usually, it's there for me to make sure the tech is working, so I can make sure that my audio is working and get, my ducks in a row before I start the show. But it's also a time where I want to say the cool people can show up, but we're all cool in some way. But basically, 10 minutes before the hour, there's a time where we call it the pre-show in the live streaming world. And it's an opportunity for us to just get settled in and talk to each other, say hi to each other. And also I will have a question that I'm going to ask you at the beginning in the pre-show, so you can answer it in the comments. And it's just sort of getting ready for the show's content for that day. Okay, so I just wanted to come on here and remind you that the show's on Friday, and to confirm that you know what time it is. So 11:50 in the morning. I'm sorry, 12:50. 10 minutes before 1, let's say it that way, on Eastern time. So that should be good for the West Coast people too. And it should be good for some people on the other side of the world that are up late. So my Australia friends, not so much. They'll be sleeping, but I'm sure I'll figure out some way to get them in the picture. All right, so I'm going to go for now, but I'll see you guys tomorrow around lunchtime, and I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too.